Wow, this is getting real out there right now. I have a lot that I want to go through in this video, including the latest guaranteed basic income program that was just announced, offering $500 payments for the next 12 months with no strings attached, as well as a bunch of other topics in this video. Let's get into it right away. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and you can join this community with nearly 300,000 other amazing people who are already here and the other people who watch my videos each and every day. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I'm back every day to keep you updated with all of this very important information, as well as boil all of this information down into these short videos that you can look at each and every day to stay updated with everything going on regarding the massive stimulus package, a fourth stimulus check, raises to benefits like Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB, and anything else we can get for the low-income and fixed-income Americans out there who are struggling so badly right now. So I'm here for you in any way that I can be. Thank you so much for your support. Subscribe right down below the video, and let's get into this right away. So let's first start off by talking about this new guaranteed basic income program that was just announced. In fact, I've been saying this for months now. Like literally every single week, we are seeing more and more of these guaranteed basic income programs or universal basic income programs popping up all over the country. Well, last week I reported a couple new ones to you out of Tacoma, Washington, and then two of them out of New Mexico in La Cruz, I believe I'm saying that correctly, and Santa Fe. If you live in either of those areas, check those programs out. Applications, I believe, are still open for probably a couple more days where you can get cash payments, no strings attached. However, as of today, we've got another new one. Yes, another new one has just popped up. And I anticipate many more of these programs will continue to pop up week after week going forward, basically through the rest of the year and beyond. This is a new thing now. They're very, very popular. So now this one is in Providence, Rhode Island. So if you live in Providence, Rhode Island, applications are open right now. Actually, for just a few more days, they're open until, I believe, Saturday, the end of the day on Saturday. You might want to check it out if you live in Providence, Rhode Island. $500, no strings attached payments for the next 12 months that you can use on whatever you want. Nice. So if you live there, be sure to check that out. Just do a simple internet search and search it up, and you can probably find it right there. Fill out that application if you feel like you would be eligible. Now again, there's a lot of these programs. Guaranteed basic income programs are the new hot thing right now. They are very, very popular. They are popping up all over the place. Literally every single week I bring you more of these programs that are popping up all the time. So maybe one will hit a town near you, right? Let's just hope so anyway. Hopefully all of you can take advantage of some of these programs. All right, let's jump into something else here. I want to quickly buzz through this. This is just really fast here, but we have to take note of this because if we think back to early 2020, there were a lot of things that we were seeing in other countries around the world that eventually kind of came to the United States. Here's what's really interesting. New Zealand, they are going into a nationwide lockdown immediately. Yes, a 3-day nationwide lockdown, like not just a little bit. No, they're locking the whole place down for 3 days, New Zealand. Meanwhile, Australia, Sydney, Australia is still in a 7-week lockdown. Originally, when they implemented the lockdown, almost 2 months ago, it was only supposed to be, I believe, like a 2-week lockdown, something like that. Well, it keeps getting extended because cases keep rising and rising, meanwhile, while they're still in lockdown. So here's the thing. They are in this lockdown for 7 weeks right now, and anybody that violates this lockdown in Sydney, Australia, fines are over $3,700. Could you imagine stepping outside of your house and all of a sudden getting slapped with a $3,700 fine? Ouch! That would not be a good thing. That would really be a bad thing for a lot of people. So that's like really serious. You know what I mean? I mean, if that was here, you better believe I'm not going to peek my nose out, right? I don't want to pay that. There's no way. I'm not going to pay that. No way. So I would certainly follow the rules, even though it'd be kind of hard to do, right? But that's kind of what they've got going on right now. Also, next topic. We've got a lot to buzz through, so I'm trying to get through this quickly for you. I want to be respectful of your time, as always. All right, so next. Retail sales numbers were released this morning. Now, this is another report that comes out on a regular basis, and is one that we want to follow very closely because People in Congress, people across government, of course, the president and economists, everybody are watching retail sales number. What this essentially means is retail sales means basically how many of us are going out and spending our money on goods and services out in the economy. Like, what are we doing with our money? Are we spending more right now, or are we spending less? Well, what they found is a month-over-month analysis. They found that retail sales dropped by 1.1%, which isn't actually a good thing, right? We want increasing retail sales. Well, they do anyway. Not necessarily what we really want. I mean, it doesn't really matter what we want, but overall, the government wants more retail sales, increasing retail sales, because that means consumers, us, the people, are going out and we are spending our money on goods and services. When they see declines in retail sales, it means a couple things. First off, maybe people don't have the money to spend right now. Or number two, people are fearing this next Delta wave, this Delta variant or whatever that's going on right now. And people are saying, I don't really feel comfortable going out to the stores and buying goods and services, so I'm just going to kind of lay low. Well, what happened last year when we saw declining retail sales? What do they need to do in that situation? They need to deploy these massive stimulus packages to keep everything afloat, right? Send money out to the people. When everybody has some money in their hand, they're a little bit more eager to get out into the stores or online and start shopping again. So you kind of see the full circle effect. They send the money to us, and then our job is to go out and spend the money. That's why they call it a stimulus check, is because they want us to go out with that money and stimulate the economy. That's the whole purpose behind it. Even though they call them relief checks, I mean, honestly, they just want us to stimulate the economy. That's the whole purpose why they do it. So my point is, if retail sales continue to decline month over month going forward, it's going to build even a bigger case for more stimulus checks going forward. Kind of get what I'm saying? So even though we are looking at this next reconciliation bill that is on the table right now, which, by the way, Nancy Pelosi has been out making some remarks on this thing. She's kind of working her way through this process to figure out how they can bring both of these packages for simultaneous voting. If that kind of makes sense. So the reconciliation bill, like the budget resolution that was sent over to the House last week, that was passed in the Senate, that alongside this bigger, well, it's not really bigger, I guess, the infrastructure bill. It's not bigger, but it's the other one that is, I guess, fully passed out of the Senate. So she's trying to figure out some strategies to figure out, like, how can we do this together to get everybody satisfied? The progressives in the House of Representatives, as well as the moderates, who are basically saying, we're not going to vote for the budget resolution unless we also get the vote on the infrastructure package at the same time. So Nancy is certainly going through this juggling act right now. Same thing with Chuck Schumer over in the Senate. Both of these two, the leaders in both of the respective chambers, are kind of going through like this fancy juggling act right now, and they kind of need to keep everything afloat. Otherwise, things could fall apart really quickly. You know how that goes? Like juggling, if they lose track of one ball, kind of the whole thing tumbles down. You never seen that? Yeah, it's kind of the same situation with what they're going on right now in the Senate and the House in regards to these next two packages going on right now. So, yeah, a lot there also. One more note here. Well, maybe a couple more notes, but one more important note. So, Jerome Powell, who is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. So he is a very, very influential person, right? So he's like the main guy. He is like the main person that all eyes are on. When he speaks, everybody is listening because he's the guy to determine like what's going on with the economy, right? He apparently knows everything, but I guess that's up for debate. We won't go down that road, but you know what I mean? So anyway, everybody kind of looks up to Jerome Powell to figure out like what's going on with the economy. Well, he's anticipating, well, not necessarily anticipating, but rather he's saying that this new Delta variant is essentially a wild card for the economy. In other words, we could be like in a really tough situation going forward with this Delta variant because a lot of people, like I was just saying with the retail sales, could start to say, you know, I'm kind of good. I don't really know what this means. You know, we're hearing all this stuff on the news as far as it's more contagious, and there's all this other stuff going on with it. Of course, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, so I can't really speak to all that stuff. But that's what we're hearing on the news right now. We're hearing all of this, that it's more contagious, it spreads more quickly, you know, all this other business going on. And maybe people start to dry up and say, you know, I'm kind of cool. I don't need to go out to the mall today. I don't need to go out and buy that, whatever, the new shoes, the new purse. I don't need to go out and buy a TV today. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that anybody here is doing that. I'm just saying, as a whole, as consumers, we might be starting to think, maybe I don't really need to go out as much as I did before. Therefore, we stop spending as much money. Therefore, the economy could be in kind of a dire predicament, once again, like we were going through in 2020. Once again, which would lead to more massive stimulus packages, otherwise known as stimulus checks. So we've been talking about this for a while now, but I continue to say the evidence literally continues to pile up week over week over week with all of these different things going on. Literally, the evidence is piling up so high for additional stimulus and or some other kind of stimulus provisions that gets cash payments into the pockets of the people. Well, one way to do it is through these guaranteed basic income programs. But as we know, these are smaller programs that are happening on a state by state or city by city, county by county level like that. It's not actually like a huge federal program. However, we do know that there are a few of those floating around out there, but those are, probably a couple years out into the future. But the point is, there's still a lot of kind of variability with everything going on right now. Seriously, there's so much up in the air right now. But we do know that they are working on this reconciliation bill. No matter what happens with everything going on out there right now, we do know that they are still working on this reconciliation bill. And regardless of what happens going forward with this Delta variant or anything else with the economy, we know that they're still going to push this next thing through. And we are starting to see some of these different proposals popping up for what do these people in Congress actually want added into the package, right? So we're starting to see some of these different things showing up. But either way, yeah, it's getting very, very interesting right now. As I've been saying for a couple weeks, literally, you've got to make sure that you're subscribed by hitting that button down below so I can keep you updated with all this stuff going on because literally, it is changing so fast. But yeah, the House of Representatives is expected to be voting on the budget resolution, which the Senate sent over to the House last week, and they're supposed to be voting on, they're supposed to be is kind of up in the air. That's kind of a flexible term, I should say, I guess. But a lot of people are kind of prompting them to start voting on this infrastructure bill next week as well. Whether it actually happens or not is still kind of up in the air at this time if Nancy Pelosi actually decides to bring it to the floor for a vote or not. But she has somewhat of a divided chamber right now. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on, as you can probably see, right? Either way, we need to watch all this stuff very closely. With the reconciliation bill out there right now, we do know that there's a lot of stuff that they're trying to pile into this thing, including like the SSI reform, which we've talked about before here, where they want to boost benefits for SSI beneficiaries. That would be a good one. We have other things like a fourth stimulus check, monthly recurring payments, expansion of the child tax credit, expansion of Medicare to include hearing, dental, vision, and lower the eligibility age. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be added into that package. So anyway, I wanted to give you kind of just a random update with a bunch of weird stuff that's going on right now. Of course, I will continue doing tons of other research out there with everything going on, but I came across a bunch of different things that I talked about in this video, and I thought, you know what? Not one of these things individually is good enough for like its own video, you know what I mean? But I thought, you know what? I'm going to pile a bunch, like 5-6 different things in one video. I'm going to burn through it as fast as I can and deliver all the stuff to you. So it's basically what I just did. So I hope you enjoyed that. But I will continue to do all this research. I'll help you out in any way that I can through these videos. I know it's a tough time out there right now. Seriously, I get it. I read the comments down below. I see the struggle. It's not a fun situation right now. But unfortunately, we're kind of at the mercy of everybody in Congress to figure out, at what speed do they want to move. And once they can kind of figure it out, then we can kind of coordinate our lives and, what we can figure out to have coming to us accordingly. I know it's tough, seriously, but I'm here for you every single day. I do a lot of research on this stuff. I boil it all down into these short videos and do whatever I can to make sure that my videos are valuable and they're helping you out in any way that I can. And of course, I try to work my way through these as quick as possible so that you can get the information, get in, get out the door, get on with your life and do whatever you want. Of course, I don't want to be here forever taking up a bunch of your time. I want to deliver this to you very fast, very proficiently, very efficiently and reliable, transparently. properly, all that kind of stuff. So hope all that makes sense. Thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Again, subscribe right down below the video, and I'll be back in the next video, and I'll catch you later with more information. I'm going to get back to the research and see if I can find some more really good stuff where I can make you some more individualized videos and really kind of hammer some of this stuff home. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on out there right now. Seriously, it is like so busy. It's like, I don't even know what to do with myself sometimes. There's like so much good stuff. It's like mining for gold, right? Here's a nugget. Here's a nugget. There's another little nugget, right? So anyway, enjoy your day, everyone. Subscribe right down below, and I'll see you again in the next video.